ago, let's just say for a joke. And then I agreed to do this after quite a lot of beers. So I've had the ability to marry people for a few years now, but this is definitely the first wedding I've done which is anything close to being official. But I really can't think of a more perfect venue than this for an occasion that I know is not only monumental for the wedded couple, but for all of us who are lucky to know and love them as individuals, but even more so as a perfect pairing. Without doubt, the most remarkable moment in life is when you meet that one person who makes you feel complete. That one person who makes the world a better place than it was before. That person with whom you share a bond so special that it transcends normal relationships and you can't imagine spending another day of your life without them. So for Rich, that happened about 7 years ago when he met me. But a few years later, he met Sarah, and she's pretty decent too. I know how deeply these two care for one another, so I feel privileged to stand here today among all of you as a witness to their commitment of a lifetime of love for one another. So we're going to start off with a reading from Robert. Yes.
I also agreed to do this after a few beers. She's not perfect, and you are. And you aren't either. But if she can make you laugh, cause you to think twice, and admit to being human and making mistakes, hold on to her and give her the most you can. She may not be thinking about you every second of the day, but she'll give you a part of her that she knows you can break, her heart. So don't hurt her, don't change her, don't analyse, and don't expect more than she can give. Smile when she makes you happy, let her know when she makes you mad, and miss her when she's not there. That's it.
Okay, so Rich and Sarah have asked that I keep this speech short, classy, grandma friendly, and politely asked me to leave out any stories that are unflattering to either of them. So as a result of that, version 1 of my wedding ceremony script is currently in the bin. So for version 2, I had to do some panic Google searching of how to officiate in a wedding, and I read that the very first thing you're meant to do is to tell the nice, cute story about how the couple met. But I'm sure even the more senior and committed members of this audience are familiar with Tinder. If you haven't heard of it and you want to get it, try it out. It's pretty rural around here, so I reckon you need to set your radius to a minimum of 15 miles if you want results. But please do not go too big, because then you hit Benidorm. On a more serious note, I have been lucky enough to have been around these two since the very start as the third-party spectator to their developing relationship. Although that kind of makes it sound like I've been silently judging you for 4 years. But even since the first time Rich brought Sarah to the pub to meet us, it was clear that the two represent a perfect pairing because each of them complements the other so well. They balance one another, and while each of them are great individuals on their own, together they're even better. They're the heartbeat of our group, and being better together as a team, as a unit, and as partners in crime is what has been many years in the making and ultimately leads us to being here today, witnessing their commitment to one another in front of those they love the most. So I also read that you should talk about a specific event which epitomizes the relationship between the bride and groom and how they enrich and how they enrich their lives. But I really wish I could tell you one single standout story about Rich and Sarah's relationship that does this. But honestly, the truth isn't. There is one single event that is a good encapsulation of what they mean to each other and to all of us. But partly because any stories that do exist involve a topic which they vetoed. What I mean to say is that once you spend more than just a couple of minutes with them, it's immediately apparent how deeply they care for each other. They don't need to make grand gestures to prove it, but simply show it through everything they do. They protect each other, they make each other laugh, and they think outside themselves. They help and support each other in ways that are both obvious and unnoticed, but always appreciated. Now, I'd say the road to this moment, although it's been long, has been fairly straightforward, which, on a personal note, has been great, because I appreciate low-maintenance friendships. But that's not necessarily to say that there's not been tests, but because since the very beginning it's been clear, to me at least, that today was always going to be the end destination. And whilst a huge step, this marriage today is simply an extension of the commitment and love that these two have shown to each other over the past few years. We're here together not to mark the start of a relationship, but to acknowledge and strengthen one that already exists. So now we're going to have another reading from Trish.
Guys, I'm getting a bit ill after a few days of nice relaxation with this law. So I'm losing my voice, so bear with me. So this is a reading by Pablo Neruda, who's a Chilean poet. So it goes, I don't love you as if you were the salt rose, topaz, or arrow of carnations that propagate fire. I love you as certain dark things are loved, secretly between the shadow and the soul. I love you as the plant that doesn't bloom and carries hidden within itself the light of these flowers. And thanks to your love, darkly in my body lives the fragrance that rises from the earth. I love you without knowing how or when or from where. I love you simply without problems or pride. I love you this way because I know no other way of loving but this, in which there is no you, there is no I or you, so intimate that your hand upon my chest is my hand, so intimate that when I fall asleep, it's my eyes, your eyes closed too. Okay.
Okay, so without further ado, it is now time to do the vows. So, could you stand up? We are gathered here to join Rich and Sarah in the union of marriage. This contract is not to be entered into lightly, but thoughtfully and seriously, and with a deep realisation of its obligations and responsibilities. So we'll start with you, Rich. I ask you now, in the presence of this company, will you take Sarah to be your lawful wedded wife? Will you promise to be loving, faithful, and loyal to her for the rest of your lives together? And now I ask you, Sarah, will you take Rich to be your lawful wedded husband? Will you promise to be loving, faithful, and loyal to him for the rest of your lives together?
I will.
Yeah. So Rich and Sarah will now exchange rings as a seal of the vows they just made to each other, and a physical symbol of their love and commitment. As the best man, Dom, it's your time to shine. Would you please come forward with the rings? Okay, again, so Rich, will start with you again. So please repeat after me. I give you this ring as a token of our marriage and a symbol of our love. I promise to love, honour and care for you, to support you through good fortune and adversity, joy and sadness, and to be your best friend as long as we both shall live. And now you, Sarah. I give you this ring as a token of our marriage and a symbol of our love. I promise to love, honour and care for you, to support you through good fortune and adversity, joy and sadness, and to be your best friend as long as we both shall live. Okay. Now, now, with nothing left to be said, and by the power invested in me by the Universal Life Church, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. So, I think so. Next, Sarah and Rich heading up for some photos. Is that right? And but for the rest of us, if we move over to the restaurant area, there's going to be canapes and drinks.
Woo!
Yeah.
We spray it.
Yeah.
Yes, my lord. Come on.